the relationship you talked about earlier that you had, uh, did that happen during the military years, or is that
Like what
after?
relationship?
Well, you said you had kind of seen a guy for a while. I think you said his name was Jeff.
Yeah. So I did actually have my first relationship when I was in the army. My first boyfriend. So his name was Robert. He was like the command, the sergeant of the Army Pacific Command. The only reason he didn't go to the sergeant of the Army competition was because he broke his foot.
Okay.
So he was a really badass guy, and we dated for 6 months. And so, but we just decided we weren't in love, so we broke up, and we still lived together for about 6 months after that. It was a very beautiful relationship. We were best friends, and it was and so, but we just weren't in love.
Okay, so that was, and where was that at? What city did
I
that
was in
happen in?
Hawaii. I was in Hawaii.
So that was in Hawaii.
Mm.
And because of that relationship, did you have more experiences in Hawaii going out and stuff like that?
No, it's actually the opposite because he's like a I don't know if you ever I don't know if you ever I mean he's probably not ever hear this interview, but he's kind of a recluse. He's a guy that he plays WoW. He's a
Hmm.
Chinese linguist. I was a Korean linguist. He was a Chinese linguist.
Yeah.
And he was a staff sergeant. He was an E6. So and he's like the platoon sergeant. But I saw to answer your question is when I started going out when I met a girl named Shannon Forbes, she's like a really I mean, she's a really amazing woman. She's a Korean linguist as well, and she's funny, and she's oh my god, she's just so. And so when we met on Facebook, she was having a party, and she was inviting a bunch of girls out downtown, and then I said yes on Facebook. I you know I think that was back when you sent invites on Facebook, and so it said, did you want to go downtown to this party? And so I said yes, I'll go downtown to this party. And so we ended up clicking. We had so much fun together. We basically became best buds from that point forward until I left Hawaii. And we went hiking, and we went. Well, I mean, I've never been a partier ever. I on occasion have drinks. And get wild and throw up in the middle, throw up because I drink too much. But I never was like ultimately like too much of a partier. But we went hiking and we went kayaking. I love kayaking. We went kayaking a lot. That's my favorite thing was kayaking. When we kayak out to the islands. And so I did become a lot more out there. And I am a very, very, very social person. And so I really love that. And so actually, here's the big event in my life. This is maybe the most important part of the interview. When I was 19, I was diagnosed with ADHD, and I was put on Concerta, and that changed my life. So I did usually have kind of like I wouldn't say relationship problems, but I would have problems with my peers. I mean just read about ADD and what people with ADD are like and ADHD, and that's how I was. And as soon as I started taking Concerta, it just changed. Like I was always, I mean, I did have an issue when I was in the army at the beginning of being on time to things,
Hmm.
but I was always on time. I would have to wake up at 4. I would have to wake up an hour and a half early just so I would I would be ready on time. So that's how hard I worked. I mean, I was late to I think I was late to zero. I don't think I was ever late to a formation while I was in the army. Like I don't think I ever missed a formation or was ever late to. I think one time I was late at the very end. I got and
Okay.
I got one counseling state my entire time in the army and I don't even remember what it was for, and I refused to sign it.
Okay. So I think you said you were in the military for 5 years. So what happened? How did that come to an end?
Well, it was the end of my contract, I had to get out of the army because I decided not to stay in.
Okay. And was there anything that caused that decision? Was there something,
I just
another
was tired.
opportunity?
Army was not my life. I wanted to do something. Well, I had something else in me that I needed to do, and I wanted to go out there and do it. And so, army was not my life's path.